Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina. And Ron and I are the co-founders and co-directors of the Ridge Project and the co-creators of
TYRO. TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new.
Oh yeah.
A warrior. You know, somebody who's willing to do whatever it takes to create a legacy, a healthy legacy for their family.
Oh wait, to become a leader in your home, your workplace, and your community. I mean, that's a big deal. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to overcome barriers and obstacles and your past and your reputation. You know, become a leader.
Serving 15 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit was no easy task.
No.
But I tell you what, in that experience, we grew in love, we grew as individuals, we grew as a family, and we really came to a place of understanding what our purpose is.
And we overcame a lot of challenges. And so we know firsthand what it's like to navigate through incarceration, try to hold your family together, try to hold your relationship together. We've had all kinds of experiences that we want to help people coming from behind us, and we want to help you overcome those same challenges. So that's what TYRO TV is all about, and TYRO Talks on the Outside is really encouraging each other to know, you know what, if we can do it, you can do it.
So today's topic is what's on everybody's mind and what's coming. It's an uncertainty. So we want to talk about a little bit today about COVID-19.
Yeah, so we've all been experiencing all kinds of craziness and COVID-19 challenges. You have been affected by it in some way. Maybe not infected by it, but confidently affected by COVID-19.
Well, we know for here in the state of Ohio that all visits are shut down.
All face-to-face visits.
All face-to-face visits. So maybe you're doing some video conferencing, some video visits, but face-to-face visits have been on hold, I'm going to say from at least March.
Right.
Right.
And many of the institutions have had to go on really serious lockdowns because of outbreaks. And you know, it's not just Ohio. We watch the news. We're seeing it in every state. We're seeing this kind of clamping down to try to stop the spread of COVID inside the institutions. But we also are seeing that the challenges that has presented to families and to being able to really connect to each other. So we wanted to spend this show really talking about the challenges that COVID-19 has presented and what you can do to overcome those so that your family remains strong and intact in spite of COVID.
You know, so we want to encourage you to take some notes, get out a sheet of paper, and be ready to hear some hard facts, some hard truths. You know, not a lot of people want to hear about COVID-19. Maybe you're tired of hearing about it. Maybe you hear about it too much. But you know what we think is important?
We're not giving you data and statistics. Yeah. We're giving you facts on how you can keep your family together. That's what we're going to be doing.
And so write down these notes because we're healthy, but we are not healthy because we're just sitting by doing nothing. Right?
So today we'll talk about what COVID has done and the impact that it has had on families, especially those of incarceration. Then we're going to talk about why it's so important to design things and to do things different in order to meet the challenges that COVID has in front of you. And finally, we're going to give you some practical tips and tools on how to stay connected to your family even though you can't have visits. So stay tuned.
And we'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tijerina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions. To own it, you'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we're talking about COVID-19.
Challenges.
You know, this is a topic that we've been wanting to talk about for a while, but we just been, okay, so how do we address it? How do we talk about it? What do we say?
Well, not even just that, but like we weren't even in the studio. Like COVID-19 shut down everything. And so it also shut down, as you know, your visits and a lot of your privileges inside the institutions. And so we really need to talk about that because having your whole culture and your whole life change so suddenly has some serious implications and effects on you. And so we really need to say, hey, what are the COVID-19 challenges? You know, why is it important to recognize that they're there and what can we do about them?
You know, when we think about, what is it? What is COVID-19? You know, it's a virus, it's a disease. It's something that has disrupted our way of life. And if you're incarcerated, right, and of course you guys are incarcerated, I can only imagine from me being in there, if they told me you ain't gonna see your wife and kids for a long time, and I can only think of that and say, oh my gosh, because, maybe are they your lifeline? That's your hope, your ray of light, that the only connection you have with the world outside those gates.
Right. What helps you get through the next week or the next 10 days is it's like, okay, Ron would say, I didn't do 15 years. I did chunks of 10 days at a time. Because every 10 days we would have a visit and then he would do the next 10 days, right? And so if you were living like, okay, here's my ray of hope, my connection to the outside, my why, and all of a sudden, all you get is video visits. And we understand, like, technology, nobody expected this to happen. So the technology glitches that you're experiencing in there where all of a sudden, phone calls are dropping and the computers are shutting off and shutting down because of overload. Guess what? We're experiencing the same thing out here. So it's not unique to just an incarceration situation. What's happened is our whole world has flipped upside down and going to all of these virtual things, virtual meetings, virtual classes, and it has put a tremendous strain on our technology. So these COVID-19 challenges, they're real and they're probably not going to go away tomorrow. So we need to identify what they are and figure out how to navigate through them in a way that is healthy emotionally, mentally, and physically.
And while you're incarcerated, thinking about, okay, how can I still be a good guy, right? Not take everything personal. How can I not allow the situation to cause me to get in trouble? To vent my experience that I'm having by throwing a temper tantrum, right? Because maybe you're not going to chow on a regular basis. Maybe your whole world is disrupted. In fact, I know it has been. You're not on a regular routine because once routine has been established and you know when chow is, when you know what time lockdown is, and when you know where you can go to rec yard, to the library, and then all of a sudden that what you were counting on is no longer there, right? This can wreak havoc in your well-being, in what you are creating to do, how you're doing your time. But we also know that the challenge is to make you better, not bitter. How are you overcoming these new situations that you're facing? How are you adapting to it? How are you growing, man? How are you becoming a better individual despite what's happening? Because I know for a fact that even the staff, they're having challenges with at home and the society, how it is, and going back in.
And with internet connections and maintaining those connections and making sure that they're able to function. So we know your world has been turned upside down, but what we're also talking about are the COVID challenges that your family is facing. So just as much as your culture has completely changed since COVID hit the United States, guess what? Your family's culture and their day-to-day life has been greatly impacted as well. From the very beginning when schools began to shut down and organizations shut down and restaurants shut down and places of employment began to lay off. And so all of these changes are affecting your family. And in the midst of these huge cultural barriers, you guys are not able to have visits and touch, hold hands, right? The brief hug, look at each other in eyes and see the nonverbals. And so it's creating an even greater challenge. And so as we talk about what's happening in our world, okay, so yeah, it might sound like doom and gloom, but you know what the truth is? There's a huge opportunity here. A huge opportunity to build your family stronger, to invest in your family in ways you've never invested in them before. And you cannot lose sight of this opportunity, which is why we're going to talk about it today.
When you think about what is COVID, COVID is can be a great place where you can change your
COVID
attitude,
shutdown.
the COVID shutdown, right? Can give if you're conscious now, you ask yourself, okay, so we're shut down, I'm locked down, my family's out there. What can I do to strengthen us? What can I do to equip us into becoming healthy? You know, things are going to happen in our life. We know this, but I want to be the antidote in this situation for my family. I want to be the anchor because my family needs a strong anchor in their life right now. And I want to be that for them. I hope that's what you're saying to yourself. And now when you think about who am I in the midst of COVID-19, right? I'm the antidote. I'm the solution. I'm the anchor.
Right.
I'm the hope that they're looking for.
I am a man or woman worth following.
I am a TYRO.
And so when we're talking about COVID challenges, we're recognizing that there's a ton of challenges. But we're also going to tell you that, you know what, you are up for these challenges. The whole world is flipped upside down, but you are right side up. So stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk to you about why it's so important that now is the hour.
We'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we're talking about that thing that disrupted our world, and literally turned it upside down in a matter of weeks.
Right. COVID-19.
Man.
So it does not matter what your philosophy is about COVID-19. It doesn't matter what you think works and what doesn't work to protect yourself.
It doesn't matter if you think it's real or not real.
Right. It doesn't matter your opinion on masks. It doesn't matter your opinion on shutdowns and school openings. All of those things don't matter when it comes to the challenges that you're going to face, because regardless of your opinion, we are all in the same boat together, and that means we're trying to navigate through these challenges in a way that makes our family stronger and more healthy instead of causing our family to fall apart.
You know, out here in the society, you know, we're seeing the domestic violence on the rise. Why? Because people are being forced to live together.
Right. And the
right?
stress and the pressure is really getting to them.
Because they've been out working and just, you know, two ships passing in the night, but all of a sudden now they're in shutdown and now they have to spend time together. Wouldn't that be rough, having to spend time with your wife?
I don't know. Some days I think it could be rough.
Oh, man. But when you're at a place in your journey, right, that you already know what it's like to not open your refrigerator. You already know what it's like to not be able to hold your wife at night, hold your lady, to play with your kids. You know that, right? And so now amplify that. Your kids now can't come and see you. But so for the people out here that are experiencing COVID restricted movement, right? COVID lockdown, they're tripping. But we're not. Why? Because we've been there when we were separated. We were locked down. And you know what? Nothing can, when you come through an experience that you have right now in penitentiary, let me tell you this. Man, you are already stronger. You're already up for the challenge. That this COVID-19 ain't got nothing on you. You already know how to strengthen your family. You know what you got to do to equip your family to overcome even COVID-19.
So we want to talk a little bit about the impact that it's having on your family, because I don't know, hopefully your family's sharing truthfully with you. But as kids have been taken out of school, it has taken a real toll on them, educationally, emotionally, mentally, and also physically, because a lot of the sports shut down. So as kids are really facing this unknown world, and anxiety is skyrocketing, depression is skyrocketing, right? And so what can you do? I'm sure that you're sitting there because we've heard it over and over again. My goodness, I feel so helpless. Please check on my family. You know, my wife, my kids, the mother of my children, my mom, my aunt. You know, can you please, tell me what to do and what to say? Well, if you just reach out to them and stay consistently in contact with them, encouraging them that, you know what, now is the perfect opportunity to maybe learn a new skill. Now's the perfect opportunity to read a book together. Now's the perfect opportunity to write down some goals, to do a vision board and think about what could you accomplish. Now is the perfect opportunity where the whole world has slowed down to allow you time and space to think about where do you really want to invest your time and energy, and begin to make a switch away from the stuff that is meaningless and invest your time and energy into things that are meaningful.
Now's the perfect time to encourage your family to write letters. As you write letters, I'm not talking about emails.
Right.
I'm not talking about emails, man, because you can't really take time to write a one sentence. Anybody can do that. But to take time to write a real letter to your children, dads, come on now. Because now they have time to read it. I still may not write you back, don't take it personal, but they're gonna read the letter. Maybe encourage, when Cathy said read a book, I remember when we were incarcerated, Cathy and I would read books together, right? When's the last time you and your wife, you and the lady of your life, literally read a book, maybe a paragraph on the phone, maybe 2 sentences,
Maybe
something.
between phone calls, you read a chapter or 2 chapters and then just connect about it. Because then you're having a shared experience even though you're apart. The same thing with your kids. Find ways to connect with them. We've written a ton of information. If you go to TYRO.blog, if you're watching this on the pad, you can find all kinds of things you can do. But you have to, the big why is because your kids are scared and your kids' whole life has been disrupted. They've maybe been separated from their friends, from their regular activities, their regular schedule, and they're watching the news and hearing all of these conflicting reports and seeing all of these people that are very passionate about their opinions, and they're not sure what to believe. And so you need to help guide them, and you know what? Regardless of what's happening out there, we can build a strong, healthy family. Let's invest in our personal and professional development.
Why is this important? Because you are the anchor in your family. You are that strong person that your family is counting on in the midst of this crisis. Because, Dad, when you come home, guess what? There's going to be another crisis.
That's life.
That's life. But are you ready, man? As a soldier, as a warrior, you are constantly being trained for that next battle. Right now, the battle is COVID-19, right? But you can't take it personal when they're doing things outside when you're not ready to deal with it, right? Because a lot of times people that are taking things personal, right, because they haven't come to a place in their life, because the last thing they dealt with, they took it personal, and never overcame it. Right? So they never dealt with whatever situation that they were dealing with. So as you deal with this, I know, dads, it's hurting. You can't see your kids. I know you're hurting. You can't see your lady, right? And it hurts. But you got to write the letters. You got to send a message home that you're okay.
Because your kids need you to deliver hope. They need you to be the ambassador of hope and that steady light and steady presence in their life. Even though they can't see you, even though they can maybe see you on a screen, but they can't put their hands on you, you must deliver hope.
That's the message with COVID-19. You are in the best place you could possibly be right now. You're not home. Bring hope to your family.
So when we come back, we're going to tell you practical steps on how you can actually stabilize your family, build a stronger family, even in the midst of this COVID-19 challenge. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about Mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man. learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we're talking about COVID and the challenges thereof.
Which are so many. So we're not talking about the statistics. We're not talking about the numbers. We're not talking about infections. We're not talking about masks. We're not talking about lockdowns. We're not talking about school shutdowns. We're talking about the impact of all of that on you and your family. Because you are a key and pivotal role. You play a key and pivotal role in your family's life. Your kids need you. They need to know you're stable. They need to know that you're okay. They need to know that you are creating safety for them in the midst of this chaos.
So if you're calling home, guys, and you're yelling because you can't see your kids, or you're complaining about things, you are not helping the situation at all.
Fear mongering.
Yeah, right. So I want to challenge you. You know, when you call home if you're able to call home and you talk to them, don't put fear in their ears. Don't scare them. Don't tell them what's going on in your world, because and make it sound like you guys are in trouble, because you're not. You're not. You might be separated. You might be isolated, and that's true. And maybe you have restricted movement, right?
But they need to hear from you. Hey, I'm okay. I'm safe. How are you? So here are some practical tips. So one is ask questions. Don't make it all about you and what you're going through. Your family is also going through a really tough time, especially your children. Their entire lives have been disrupted. So spend some time asking them, how is this affecting you? What do you think? What are you hearing on the news? What are you doing? How is your life different? And what can I do to help you? Ask those questions. Spark that conversation. You might get one-word answers, but that's okay. Keep pressing in.
That's a good word. Keep pressing in, because that's what your family's counting on. They're still counting on you, as I said earlier, to be the anchor. What else can you do? You know, I said earlier, write letters. You know, begin that. If you haven't written a letter to your family in a while, this is the time to do it. They're home. They have time to read it. In fact, I know it would bring joy to them to read a letter versus read an email.
Yes,
right?
And that experience for your kids to get an actual letter in the mailbox with their name on it, unspeakable joy, for real. And so now, here's the other thing. So don't count on your kids writing you back, because this disconnect and not being able to see you and touch and hold you, it's probably they're feeling like, you know what, let me just put up some walls because it's too painful that I don't get to see my dad. It's too painful to just watch him on the video thing. It's like I'd rather not look at it. So that they're practicing some avoidance. Chase them. It's okay. Still chase them. Write them letters. Let them know that you're rooting for them. Let them know that they're going to be okay. That we're going to get this thing figured out, and that you're okay. And give them some things that they can do. Give them some little assignments. Hey, check in on your mom. Find out how your sister's doing. Little things that they can do.
One of the things that Blake and I and Brandon did when I was incarcerated, we played chess. How? Through the mail. Right? I would make a piece. We would have the board. They have their board. I got my board. And I would write in the letter, my move. Right? And it'd be one move, right? And then they would see it, and they would move their piece that I just told them, and they would tell me back, and then I would move their piece. Now this takes time, but you know what? It builds relationship, because healthy relationships take time.
And they're comprised of a whole bunch of little moments, right? And so if every moment that you're with them, you're complaining about the impact of COVID-19 on you and your life.
Because you can't eat breakfast, because you can't go have rec, because you can't do this.
Right.
Whatever it is.
And we understand that it's challenging times. It's challenging for everybody. But when you impose that extra burden on your kids are going to back up, right? And they feel more suffocated. But when you can present to them, hey, you know what? This is tough, but we're going to be okay because we're tougher. So we talked about that already. We talked about asking them questions. We talked about making sure that you're writing letters. And then Ron mentioned play games. And so if you look at tyro.blog, there's a bunch of different blogs there on games you can play over the phone or over letters. Find some fun games. Play games. You can do 20 questions. You can do all kinds
Trivia
of
Pursuit, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's up to you, Dad, to take the initiative to bring an atmosphere that is going to be okay. Right?
right? Bring some normalcy in the middle of the chaos, and that will make your family feel settled. It will make sure that your connections to your family stay strong. When you are there as an anchor to support your family, then no matter what happens on this ocean, in the end, you guys will be safe.
That's what's important. So, COVID-19, what are the challenges are we facing, right? We have to wear masks wherever we go. So you're wearing masks inside there. Your families are wearing masks out here. Cathy said we're not going to talk about it. It is what it is. There's no room to complain. We don't. It's about strengthening what we have. Strengthen what you have, because there's all types of things we can complain about, gentlemen. There's an endless pool of complaints.
There were an endless pool before COVID, and there will be an endless pool after COVID. So right now, in the middle of this pandemic, is a perfect opportunity for you to stand firm like a beacon of light, like Ron said, for your family and for all those around you. This is the perfect opportunity to practice your leadership skills, to be steady, to help people calm down, and to help people know that it's going to be okay.
And that's what we're excited about. So listen, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to come back, right? So go.
And when we come back, we're going to wrap it all up. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tijerina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tijerina.
And I'm Cathy Tijerina.
And today we're talking about COVID and the challenges of it, right?
And how to overcome or meet that challenge by investing in your family. Now is an incredible opportunity that you have to really think about setting goals for your family, putting together vision boards that include your family, walking your family through making their own vision boards. Finding ways to really connect in the middle of the chaos is going to build an extra special, extra firm foundation for as you transition back home.
So look for the good things in this. Look for the opportunities that will help empower them, right? Because we already know they're afraid. We already know that uncertainty always brings fear, right? When you're not sure. And maybe your people are laid off. Maybe they're out of work right now. Maybe they're collecting employment. We don't know, right? But you know. But they're counting on you to bring that beacon of hope, bring that light, be that light in their life, because all they see is just where's the next dollar coming from. Well, even before COVID-19, come on, most of the people, the families of incarcerated are on welfare already, right? And so they've already had a lot of challenges to overcome. So now with COVID-19 on top of that, right? Where is the strength? They're looking for it. It's you. They're looking for the strength in you, Dad. So I want to encourage you right now to take time, write a letter to your family and say, hey, listen, I got you. We're going to be okay. We're going to make this. This ain't got nothing on us. We are going to make it.
And as you do that, you are not only creating that atmosphere of safety, but you're also solidifying your place as the anchor, as someone that can be depended upon. And so when you're the calm voice in the middle of the chaos, when you're the one that's saying, you know what, regardless of what's happening outside there, we're not going to lose our own focus, which means that we're focused on building a healthy, strong family, creating a legacy, finding ways to contribute in society. Now this opportunity is huge to do all of those things.
An opportunity to reinvent your family.
Yes,
Man.
Absolutely. Take advantage of it.
Take advantage of it. I'm telling you, when your family's there, ask them what they're doing to create a better home, right? Are they fixing their yard? Are they cleaning out their closets? There are so many opportunities while they're home that they can make that home a cleaner, safer place.
Right. And so again, the top 3 tips as you navigate through all the challenges of COVID and the challenge of especially not having face-to-face visits. Make sure that you're writing letters. Ask your kids when you either talk to them or you do video visits or in the letters, ask them about them and their interests and how this is impacting them. And finally, play games. Don't make it all serious when you have a time to talk to them. Make it bonding time and connection time.
Play games. You know what? Today we still play games. You know, we love family games. So with that being said, COVID-19 is here. Can't do nothing about it. You're in Car City. Can't do nothing about it right now. But we got to make the best of it. That's what this is about. Make the best of it. Your family is counting on you. And guess what? So are we.
We want to thank you so much for spending time with us today. And we know that there's something that we said today that if you apply it, it's going to bring transformation to your family. So until next time.
Always remember that we are rooting for you.